live now. See, so it helped.
Oh,
Second time
okay.
is a charm, right? All
That's
right, so
good.
that's great. So hello, YouTube. How are you doing? What a day, huh? You're gonna see me twice in one day. I'm gonna make sure I have everything on mute. There we are. Hello. It is Tuesday, 4:00 in the afternoon. I almost said Tuesday morning because I'm so used to saying Tuesday morning when we're on the podcast. But if you didn't get a chance to check out my live quick update this morning that I did here on YouTube, please go and watch that afterwards because there's a lot of updates in there you really want to hear about that I'm not going to go over here in the show. But other than I had to move the show today to 4:00 instead of noon because I had another obligation. It's been a crazy Tuesday, y'all, but here we are. I am here. We are ready to go. I am turning on the comments, making sure everything is set up here. Let me do this while I am doing this. And then we're going to say hello to our guest. So I am excited to have Eileen Hull on the podcast today because, in full disclosure, I don't know about anything she does. Caitlin actually is the one that got in connection with Eileen and organized all of this. And I got very excited when Caitlin was telling me about it. If you guys watched some of the stitch marker events that we did last week or the week before last, man, it feels like it's all just blurred together right now. We were talking about this particular podcast and how excited we were because we get to use a cool Sizzix machine. It's a cool little something we get to make for knitters or crocheters to really expand our craft, because typically knitters and crocheters are crafty in general, right? We don't usually just stick with one or the other. So Eileen is what did you say? A
licensed artist with Sizzix.
There you go. So licensed artist. That's awesome. That has a really cool ring to it, by the way. Right? You know,
not that fancy, but
it sounds very fancy. You could say,
okay.
You should buy a shirt that says I'm fancy.
I might do that.
You should do that. So Eileen, I'm really going to just I'm going to let you tell everybody exactly what does that mean, a licensed artist with Sizzix? What do you do? And then why are you here?
Okay.
I know, right?
Good question. Well, sure. I live in Virginia. It all started a while ago. I actually work with mat board, and I loved it. And I had this idea that I brought to Sizzix, which was to design a die that would work with thick material like mat board, chipboard, heavy duty stuff, leather. And so they said, yeah, that's a good idea. So they went ahead and licensed me to create these dies, and I'll show you what they look like. This is the one that we're going to work with today. Sorry for the glare. This is called the Wrap Journal. So I designed, I don't know, hundreds of dies, but these are really sturdy because, you know, they last. They're not just working with paper, although they will also, but they're mainly for the heavy duty stuff. So what I wanted to do today, here was the sample that I made. And this one I did in your honor, Marley. I wrapped it with yarn, which took forever. And we don't have enough hours in the day to make one, but I'll show you what's inside.
Can I tell you, that just cracks me up. It took
forever. It takes a while, but it's really cute because you can use it to put all your project notes inside. And to do that, I just used number 10 envelopes that you get, you know, to send in your bills and all that. So we just use household things. I'm sure you guys have yarn. Okay. I don't even knit or crochet, and I have yarn. And I have been going nuts with all that velvet and the chenille. It's beautiful. I saw you in Michael's with the Karen cakes. I haven't seen them yet, but I can't wait. Anyway, even if you don't craft needlework wise, you can always use yarn. So I have some of my small stash there, but like I said, I think we're just going to go ahead and I'll show you the basics of how you construct this die. You can see it's nice and sturdy, and there are a couple things that you can do. And the other thing I wanted to show you too, I made this little yarn, what do you call it? Knitting needle caddy out of the die. All my stuff's falling out, but I'll show you this after we cut it out. But
all right, so I'm gonna pause you there for a second because this is the first thing.
Okay.
When Caitlin told me, hey, so you put dyes in a Sizzix machine, my mind instantly went to like food dye coloring.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't understand what that means. So she had to explain to me what a dye is. And so there are going to be other people when they hear you say you create this with the die, they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
what? So
Okay.
unless I'm the only one that is
No.
literally that ignorant.
You're not. And it's not ignorant. It's just a new thing you
I
haven't
just don't know.
discovered yet, which you're going to like. Okay. So basically, this is what a die looks like. This is called a steel rule die. And that means that there is thick metal rule inside that's going to cut your design out. Okay. Everyone looks different. You can kind of see the pattern here. But the fun thing about this die is that we are going to roll it through, and in one piece of mat board, we're going to cut out the shape. Okay, it's just cut out and done. So why don't we just go ahead and kind of jump in with this, and I'll talk about some of the things that you might need. Now this is mat board, which, you know, Sizzix sells it. It's nice because it's cut to size. It covers the shape of the die, and you don't have to do any of that, but you can buy them in big sheets. You could use things like chipboard that you have like on the back of a notepad or something. It's gotta be about 1/16 of an inch for it to really get those score lines in here, because that's the cool thing that it does. It cuts the outer shape, but then it also puts in score lines. So when you bend it, it goes nice and really perfectly. So
Bonnie says, I'm not the only one that didn't know. She says, so the die cuts the material, whether the material is paper or leather or whatever it may be.
Right.
Okay.
It's magic. So let me show you. Here is the big shot. Now there are other machines, and the Sizzix dies probably could work with them. I only work with the Sizzix because that's my company, but you may have to adjust these platforms or cutting pads, but you do need the extended ones. There are shorter ones that come with the machine, but they're not long enough to cover this big long die. So you want to get these. All right, so they call it, you make a Sizzix sandwich. So that means you put one cutting pad on the bottom, you put one on the top, and inside here, we're gonna insert this piece of mat board. You can see it's pretty thick. Like I said, about 1/16 of an inch. Now this die is really close to the edge because I wanted to make it as big as I could. So at this point, if I were gonna make this, I would take some adhesive sheets, and I've got a line of these with Thermoweb because I like how nice and strong they are, and they will keep metal on this, they'll keep paper, the yarn. So you put the adhesive on one side and the other side, and then you cut it. Then you peel off the adhesive and you stick the yarn on it. So you're just wrapping it around. We're not going to do that.
When you say cut it, you mean the die, or you actually are taking scissors then?
No, the die is going to cut it. Let's do it so you can see.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on full camera so that way they aren't seeing me.
Yeah. All right, here we go. So I've got the start of my sandwich here. I've got one cutting pad. I have my die with the blades facing up so it can sink into this material, this mat board. And then I'm going to put one more sheet on top. And I hope you guys can see this. I usually do Facebook Live with my camera facing down, so I'm kind of experimenting here, but I'm just rolling this through. They have an electric machine too for if you have problems with, you know, motion, you know, like arthritis or something. But wait until you see this, okay? I'm gonna lift this up, and you have a book, all right? See these little score lines here? These are all going to bend over just perfectly. So let's do that.
Okay, so I'm curious, did anybody else hear it like it kind of went like a little noise of it coming off of the cutter? Like when you did,
it does.
Like, ooh, that's satisfying.
Yeah. That's the magic happening, Marley.
That's fantastic. I love it. Magic.
Yeah, some people get, you know, freaked out if they hear that noise. That means it's working. So don't worry.
I love it.
Supposed to do that. Okay. So at this point, we have some questions about what we want to do with this book. We know that this is the cover and it's going to wrap around. So we can either have kind of a square binding, which looks like this, you know, a rigid spine, or we can do one like this where it kind of folds around, you know, where it wraps. Here's a little leather one I did. So you can see all the different things. This is embossed, and so I think what we'll do for this project is we'll just give it a squared off spine. So in that case, what I'm going to do is, I think you can see these lines here. We're going to fold over on each of these outer score lines. So to do that, I'm going to lay it on my table because you don't want to give uneven pressure because the mat board is made up of layer on layer on layer of paper, and it can split if you don't give the right pressure. Okay, so here's our cover. Now, if we wanted to just make a little notebook, we could chop this flap off right here and have like a nice little notebook with the binding holes. But we're going to wrap that around. So I'm going to do the same thing over here on these little score lines. Okay, and now you can see we've got a wraparound journal. Okay, it's pretty cool. I mean, that took like 1 second. Yeah,
that is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So on this one, every time I am amazed. It's just really fun. Wow. So this one is more of a rolled binding because to do this one, I made it a little, I squished it down because these envelopes were longer. So I wanted to make that longer. So if we do want to go ahead and do that, let's just go ahead and we're just going to score over on each of these little score lines, and you'll see how that wraps around. So I'm just doing the same thing that I did, but on each score line now I am bending over, and that's going to give it a different shape. So there's a lot of things. Yeah, there's a lot you can do with it.
So while you're doing that, like this happens to be just one die, meaning if you had a Sizzix machine, you could buy a lot of different dies to make different things.
Right. Each die cuts out a different thing.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. So here we have our basic book. Okay. We always know this is the cover because it's the bigger flap, but some people like to, you know, wrap around here and close it here. So the next thing I want to do is I want to put in some elastic because I need a way to keep my pages inside, right?
Okay. If I were to ask you how big this is, do you know what the finished size is?
Yeah, it depends on how much you squish it, but it's basically, it's like 5 1/8 tall and about 4 1/2 wide.
Okay.
You can see that. And then it's about 2 inches, 1.5 inches or so thick.
Okay.
All right. So it's a nice handy little one for travel or whatever. All right.
It is so cool. I love this. Okay, keep going. I'm on you.
All right. One more thing you want to remember is you have to pick these little holes out after you die cut because they will get packed in there. They're, you know, this is a 1/4 or 1/16 of an inch thick. But when you get several layers of that packed into these little holes, it's a pain to dig them out. So you have to have your thing. It's called a die pick, which I don't know where I put it, but it's like a little pokey tool. So you want to dig those holes out just so you know. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is I've got a length of elastic here. This is 1.5 millimeters, and I like this one because it's kind of a medium weight. You know, if I made a bigger book, I might use a 2 millimeter. It's up to you what you're going to put inside, but this is just kind of a nice general weight. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to string my binding here. And I'm going to make it big enough to hold 6 or so little things, well, those little envelopes that we're going to put inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work from inside the book, and I'm going to hold this cover. This is the front cover with my left hand. And I'm just going to take my elastic and start stringing. Now there's a couple ways you can do it. I always cut it too long, but I'm going to hold my thumb right here. And I'm just going to go through and basically match up the holes so that we have, you know, little strings coming down the inside of the book like this. I'm going to go top to bottom. And this last one here is just going to wait because I'm going to come back around to that. Okay, so now I'm going to come through the back again. If you wanted to do it the easy way, you could just cut off 4 pieces of elastic and tie each one in. But I kind of like doing it with one string because it gives me more little places to put my books.
I love this. This is so neat. So as you're stringing that up there, I want to tell people that we are making a knitting and crochet journal. So this is a great way for those of you who listen to me all the time and you make a gauge swatch and you're like, I don't know what to do with it. Well, this is one of those things. You can put your gauge swatch in the envelopes that we're going to be using here in a second. You could keep your notes. You could keep a little bit of the yarn. Maybe you keep the yarn label. Like, it's a place for you to essentially have your knitting and crochet diary right there at your fingertips. And with how tactile a lot of knitters and crocheters are, this is one of those things that would be great for us as individuals. It'd be a great, wonderful gift for the knitter or crocheter who literally has everything. You can hand make one of these for them. So this is a really cool tool.
Your Christmas list.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I did, Marley, and this freaks people out a little. I'm going to have to go through this hole twice. I already did that with this one here. I have to go through the hole twice, but it's not a big deal. See, you just want to remember, put the horizontal elastic going this way, and inside the book, they all go up and down and straight, hopefully, but you know, do your best. And then you're just gonna, this is my last one, so I'm just trying to get that string through there. You're just gonna come through here, and you can see we have one on the outside, we have two here, and this is gonna be one on our last hole. And don't worry, if you can't remember this, you can go back and watch later. Okay, so as I said, I did it too long, as I always do. So we're just gonna trim this off here, and then I'm gonna tie that elastic together. But I just wanna test it first and see how much tension I have in it. It depends on what I'm putting inside, you know, but that's too much, that's too loose. So I'm gonna go through and just kind of pull on them and get them to the tension that I want. And then I'm gonna tie it. And sometimes I leave my string hanging a little so I can adjust it later and I don't cut it. This one is not wanting to do it, of course, while people are watching me. Okay, now I'm just tying this in the middle here. What do you call that one? Left over, right over, what is that? Square knot. Yeah.
I was gonna say your guess is good. I always just like, I'm like, tie a knot.
Yeah, tie a knot. That's not gonna come out.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, and then we're just gonna trim that because sometimes they get in the way, these little strings. And then I'm gonna take my number 10 envelopes, and here are some other things that I used in the making of this journal, which are, and you, I'm sure, have your stashes. You have lace, you've got beads, you've got muslin, some rickrack, charms, jump rings. Those are all things that you can use to embellish it. What I want to show you just now is like a basic book. And then if you have questions, you can ask me. So now we've got the binding for our book. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our number 10 envelopes, right? Just, you know, get them in the dollar store. And you're just going to go ahead and you're going to lick them and close them, which seems weird, but that's what you're going to do. That one's already licked. I think I got these from my dad's place and they were old and they just kind of, you know, they were sealed anyway, but you're just going to fold them in half.
I love it. Like, and if you don't want to lick them, everybody, because I know there are people out there. I mean, we're in the land of COVID right now.
That's true.
You can dampen them and just close them on your own as well. I'm just gonna put that out there. Like,
very true.
Use your common sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna lick mine, but I mean, you know, they probably haven't seen the light of day in like 10 years, so it's clean, but you never know. But I have 4 kids, so I'm also like, just get it done. So I could do 6 of them if I wanted to put them inside, or even I could nest them inside each other. But the other thing that we're gonna have to do is, let's look at our book and see how they fit. All right, they look a little bit long. They could fit, but I'm gonna trim a little bit off. So I've got a paper trimmer. This is an old one, but whatever you have, you know, and what you would do is just measure this to the size that you want and just chop it. So I'm going to say, what is that? 4.5 inches. No, 4.25 inches. All right, I'm gonna trim all of these off at 4.25 inches. So I hope you can hang in there.
You're like freaking me out as you're putting your hand underneath that.
Oh no, it's
like I have all of these. I'm like, oh my gosh, don't lose a finger on my show. Like,
promise.
Pay attention.
Although I have done that, I wouldn't do it on your show, Marla. Only my show.
You know what?
That's where all the disasters happen, and I think that's why people watch.
Oh,
but I can't be sure. All in good fun. All right, so these are, let's just do a couple more. And then we're just, wait, these I might have trimmed.
This is fun. We have people commenting how much they love this, that this is genius.
Oh,
so this is really great. If you're able to tilt your camera down just a little bit more when you're showing stuff, that would be good.
Is that working? Okay, I wasn't sure.
We just won't see you, but I mean,
yeah, no, that's good. That is fine. Not at my best today. I'm probably sweating. Right. So I'm just.
You're licking it.
I licked it, but it was off camera, so it didn't really happen.
So that doesn't count. That's like right. Calories, right?
That is right. Okay.
I like the way you think.
All right. So 4.25, 4.25. And then the next thing that we're going to do, just to make it easier, is I'm going to take a hole punch. This is 1 1/8, but you could use whatever size you have.
That's the coolest looking hole punch. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, it's old. It's an old one. But
that's
you know,
cool.
If you had, it's just so that what we're going to do is put like a little notch in here, you know, like halfway.
Oh, how cool is that?
So it's easier to pull stuff out.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's just go ahead and do that.
Oh, Eileen has all the tools, people.
I do have the tools, that's for sure.
All the tools.
Yes, my husband will tell you all about my tools.
Oh man, I get it.
Yeah, he has his own, you know.
My husband has taken up to really making our grass the best in the neighborhood.
Oh,
like
that's nice.
At our old house, we had part of our HOA stuff was they did all of our landscaping, so we never had to worry about it. So now here at the new house, he is like so obsessed, and like he did something called thatching the grass. And I was what is, I have no idea what this is. He goes, well, I have to buy a thatcher. I have to let the grass breathe. And I was like, I'm so glad you found a hobby. Like, all right, dude.
You know, that's one less thing that they're coming after you.
Yep, exactly.
Exactly. You know, we have our thing. My husband's thing is lately he's playing football with other people on TV. Yeah. Which is great, you know, and I'm down here doing my thing. That's fine.
Yeah. I have my boys doing that, so I hear you. All right, this is the coolest. I'm so excited about this.
Okay, good. It is exciting.
Okay,
so what we're going to do now is we're just going to put these little envelopes into our book. We're just slipping each one under the elastic. And of course, you could, you know, cover these with paper if you wanted, or what might be even cool is you could put like your yarn swatch on the outside, you know, just tape it on there so you know what you're looking at inside, or whatever it is, like an old book or a pattern that you have that you want to keep, like that might be in a couple pieces, like my mom's were, you know, when she would knit. And this is basically your book. And you've got this cool little book, and you can put your, let me open this one so you can see. Now see on this one, I put, can you believe they had a charm that was yarn? Isn't that adorable?
That's because yarn is amazing.
Well, it is amazing.
You in the yarn club here.
That is true. They also had a spool, and they had scissors. Oh.
That is so, I love me some charms.
I know. And I have a little trailer. So
that's so cool.
Yeah. So I also used some lace here. So I'll just tell you what I did. Like I said, I covered it with adhesive, and then I peeled off the pieces that I wanted to work with. The reason I did that and didn't peel them off all at one time was because that adhesive is going to stick when you're, you know, wrapping your yarn. So I just did a little piece at a time. And then for the binding, I wrapped it in muslin, because I thought the yarn might get caught in these little, you know, valleys here where, you know, where like this, there's like, so I thought that maybe the yarn would get caught in there. So I kind of like how that broke it up too. And then I just wrapped it around the rest. And then another thing that I kind of wanted to show you if we have time is something, and I think you guys would really like this because you like cording and stuff. Who doesn't?
I love cording, and we have time. This is amazing.
Okay.
When I'm not answering you, it's because I'm on mute, and if I answer you, the camera goes back to me. So just so you know.
Okay, sure. Well, if you do have questions, this would be a good time before I show you the next thing. If anybody
people are just amazed. They're saying that this is so awesome, that it's genius. They love how you have incorporated yarn into the whole aspect of it all.
Oh, I know. Thank you.
Such a great diary. People are talking about, even if you don't do it like for swatches and stuff, you could do it for like a memory diary. Maybe, like if you're a young kid, or maybe you're somebody who likes to do sentimental stuff with boyfriends or girlfriends, like, I mean, could you imagine like when we can go to the movies again, like moving tickets in there, or like it would be a fun Valentine's Day gift. There's so many possibilities here.
Photos, if you're a planner, you can put your little calendar in there. Also, just a shout out to the Dollar Tree. They have these little books that if you put them in here, they fit perfectly. So all you do is you just take them, and I have gotten more than you will ever know of these little books, and you can cover them with paper, so they look nicer than this, but I'll just show you one. So you just open the book to the center, if you can find it, and then you just, instead of having this envelope, you would just have your little book inside, and, bring it to the store with you. If you have your shopping list, you could put like, you could put 6 little books in here, and there's plenty of room.
All right. Who else thinks Eileen is a genius? Because, oh my gosh, I'm like, yep, I mean, all I keep thinking now is you could totally keep like little notes there. This is brilliant.
Well, good.
Oh, this is so fun. Now I can't wait to make one.
Good. I hope you do. You show me what you make, Marley, because
awesome.
It'll have your own spin. And that's the fun thing about these dies, is that, everybody has their own lives, their interests, their family, and you can customize it to whatever you like to do.
Yeah. So you were talking about the cord.
Yes, let me show you the cord. Okay, this is a different tool, and this is one that I designed with Sizzix. And the reason that I designed it was because I wanted to make flower stems. I wanted to cut wire and twist it so that I could make a little flower like this that would have a center, And so the tool it was designed to twist wire, but then I figured out that you can also twist soft things like, this is a small bolt of something that I got, I don't know where, but it was like $2. And so I wrap all my Etsy stuff up with it, but I'll show you how it works. And I'm just cutting off a little piece of this, but this is where you could also use yarn. And I have one that I made out of this chenille. It is so soft. Okay, so, and it's so easy to do. So let me show you how. All right. Now what I have, and I have this anchored up, this takes a little bit of distance because you're twisting it. This is the tool. All right. So there are 2 components to it. This is the base, and this is really the cool thing because it's got this little nail, and that's where you put your thing to twist, but you need 2 hands to twist it. So in the past, I had like a binder clip up on my file cabinet. It would pop off. It's like, what a pain in the butt. So anyway, we have this. So I'm going to turn this down because I'm going to lick this also. But it's wet. I'm going to stick this on a little block that I have. And my son-in-law actually designed this for me because I was working at some trade shows demoing this, and I put it on a table, but it was like a plastic table. Well, air can get under that suction cup. So what he did was he sealed these blocks with 8 coats of varnish. And so you can clamp it onto your table so you can kind of do this wherever you want. So if anyone's interested, I have them in my Etsy store.
I was just about to ask, do you sell those? Because that's awesome.
Yeah. And then we had a contest and I said, what should we call this thing? And the winning entry was a twist assist.
Oh, that's a great name.
So clever.
Such a good name.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at you do this. Like, I've done some other twisting, cording kind of things because they're fun. They're great for drawstrings on bags and anything. Like, they're fun. And so I'm always looking for great ways to do cording and such.
Yeah. Well, this is so easy. Wait until you see. All right. So you saw that I twisted, I cut out, it's a pretty long string because what you have to factor in, this is going to be quadrupled. And then I add a little bit more. So say you want to do a friendship bracelet, which is maybe 8 inches finished. You know, you would do like 8 times 4 is 32. And then maybe I would do 40 because I'd rather do it larger. You know, I can cut it off, but I can't add on. So this one, I don't know how long this is going to wind up to be, but what I'm doing is I'm just looping my, you know, other end of my knot on my little suction cup thing, which is on my desk, which you can't see, but I'm just going to twist this and it's going to take a while because this is kind of stretchy, this material. Now, if you could also do embroidery floss and make really pretty patterns out of that with all the different colors, or you could do yarn, which sometimes is a little bulky depending on the thickness of the yarn or the puffiness, but all it is, I mean, kids can do this. It's so easy. So I like to make mine pretty tight. The way that you can tell is when you start to, no, this one's not ready yet. When you pull it in like that, it'll start to So this one I did before and it took forever. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. You're totally fine.
Okay, now it's starting to kind of crimp. Let me do it a little bit longer.
You know, it's interesting. Yeah, when I went to a yarn shop, to Green Mountain Spinnery, not yarn shop, a spinnery, and they have a similar type tool to help them twist up the hanks of yarn so that they can get those done in a faster method. Yeah, it's really neat. If anybody ever gets a chance to go do tours at different factories, at different mills, you totally should do that. It's fun.
What a fun thing.
Yeah.
Okay, this is pretty twisty now. All right, so this is where the trick is, okay? You're gonna take the end off the hook. Ah, my thing just came off, hang on. Oh, that was too much stress for it, or I didn't lick it enough, one of the two. All right, hang on, let's put it back on there. I might have to twist it a little bit more, but it might.
That's all right, at least the mishap was with the twisty tool and not the cutting tool.
That's true.
It's hilarious.
That would be a show.
It would be.
I have bled on my shows, but what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Attention.
Have you seen that? I think it's like it's kind of a spoof YouTube video of a lady. She's an older lady, but she doesn't want to wear her glasses, and she's showing people how easy it is to make a mask. And so it's like she's using a rotary cutter and she like slices her, like it's comedy, like it's not real, but it's hilarious. Like by the end, she's like, she's got band-aids everywhere. She's got like her glass of wine. She's like, and that's how you make a mask. You know, like it's really quite comical.
Like Saturday Night Live or something.
Oh, it's hilarious.
All right. I am just going to do this a little bit more because I think I lost some of my twist.
Okay.
All right. So, but it looks pretty good. All right. So what I'm going to do is keep your tension on between the nail and this. All right. Take it off. Just hold it in your 2 fingers. Then you're going to take your hook and slide it up to the middle. And you can't see it, but I am lifting it off the nail, the other end. Okay. And now I'm going to just let that spin around.
How cool is that?
Yeah, but it would have been more dramatic if we had a little more twistiness there. But,
hey, that's dramatic enough. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so you can see.
Cool.
And then what you do is you just lay this down on the desk, you tie another knot. If you don't tie a knot, it's all going to come out.
Yeah.
So just have to remember that. But, you know, then you have this amazing piece of cording,
right?
Perfectly twisted, and then you just chop off the
little ends. Oh, yeah, I could totally see how like the velvet yarn would be fantastic for that.
It is. It is. And it has like a little tassel at the end. Isn't it
I
cute?
love it. It's so cool. I think
Doesn't
you're a
take much.
yarny at heart, Eileen. We got to get
I
you
am.
into yarn.
I have to tell you, in college, well, I graduated, but I decided to knit my husband a sweater to show him how much I loved him.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, but it was really tight to the Christmas deadline, and it was Christmas Eve, and I'm knitting. I got it done, and I sewed it up, and it had a puff sleeve.
Oh no.
I know. I could have taken it apart, but I didn't, and he did wear it, to his credit, one time.
Oh,
I think
wow.
I might still have it.
Wow.
Yeah,
I haven't even made John a sweater. I was like,
it was
no.
cute. It took forever.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
This is the coolest thing. So I want to see here. People love better with the twist assist is what it says.
Yeah.
So creative. They love the fringe twister. Do you sell the plastic journal bases on Etsy for those that don't have a machine, but would like to create a journal?
Yes, I do have. I'm not sure if I have them listed right now, but I do have the mat board cutouts. So if they don't want to, I can list them tonight if they're not in there. I think that I ran out, but I have them cut. I just didn't relist them yet. So okay. I can definitely list them. And if people want to give them a try, they can just buy one and see how it goes. And then, if they're interested and they might want to get one of their own, a machine and a die themselves, then that would be good.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I know that Caitlin told me that we have a machine to give away that Sizzix sent her, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold off, and I'm going to let everybody know this. We are going to give away a machine, but we're going to make the giveaway open starting during the stocking stuffer event, which is in a couple weeks. So, I don't need you to worry about entering anything right now. Just know that during the stocking stuffer event, we are going to tag back to this podcast. We're going to announce that, you have to enter the giveaway for a chance to win a Sizzix machine. And I can show you, I should grab it real quick. Hold on. I have everything right here. But, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know if that included the die and everything. Or not. Like, I will find out before we list the entire prize. I'll find out exactly what's in it. But she did tell me that Sizzix sent them a big shot. So we have one of these to give away, and we will do this during the stocking stuffer event, which is, I think it's in 2 or 3 weeks. We'll list it. We'll link back to this podcast so that everybody can watch it there. But I just want to, it's such a big prize. I want to make sure that we get a chance to get as many eyes on it as possible and get as many eyes on you showing how to do this, because this is a great gift idea. So I want people to know there's going to be a chance to win one of these. And we only have one to give away. So just so everybody knows, I cannot wait now that I know what all of this is.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to have fun, Marley.
I am so excited.
You're going to be addicted. You're just going to be whipping them out. But, you can put them. One other thing I did want to show you. All right. This is not done yet.
Okay.
But this is, okay, I cut out 3 or 4 of the journal shapes out of felt. Okay. This is a nice heavy duty felt. It's not wool, but it's sturdy. Okay. So I just cut out the shapes, and this is where I made that little yarn or the needle.
Oh, this is so smart.
And then there's like a little pocket inside, so you can put whatever. I'm more of a stitcher. I do like, so I'm going to adapt mine. Or if I did crochet, like I said, I have all the stuff.
Yeah.
Haven't done it yet, but someday. And then you can put your needles in here, your scissors, it's little.
So fun.
Yeah, there's just like limitless things that you can do with this die, because basically it's just a long rectangular shape that is going to be nice and consistent with whatever you cut it from. If you cut fabric, you can use this for quilting, the machine.
Yeah.
Use this, but you might. I don't know. I might.
This is neat. So you're going to have to tell me, all these ideas are great, but I know that, my creativity when it comes to yarn and knitting and stuff, I've got it. I mean, I've got oodles and oodles of ideas. When it
Right.
comes to things like this,
Yeah.
I'm very much, Eileen, tell me what to do. Do
Okay.
you have blogs? Are there patterns to follow? Like, how does it work in
Yeah.
this? I don't even know what to say, like in this world, like in this craft. I know.
Okay. There are ebooks. I've done
Okay.
ebooks for, because this is one journal that I've done. I've done another one called the Traveler's Notebook size. It's big. It's like almost 9 inches tall and about that wide. There's a little one, the tiny book, which is 3 inches by 2 inches. They're all different ones. So on my blog, eileenhull.com, every week I have a design team and I have an educator team. There are 16 on the educators and 11 on the inspiration team. So every week we have 3 to 6 projects that give inspiration and tutorials. Yeah.
That is so fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then we also have the Eileen Hull fan club, which is, I did not name that, but it was my friend. She's like, you need a fan club. I'm like, I am too old to have a fan club, but she did it. And they are understand. Great.
My friends, they started Marley's Minions.
I know, I'm one of them.
Right? Yeah. I'm like, because I had somebody was like, they said, look how pompous she is. I was like, I didn't name it. They named it. Like, I didn't do it.
So. I love it. And, you know, the group is so supportive. It's like your Marley's Minions, you know.
They are the best people.
Yeah, because they all get together. They all share ideas. We have contests. We have some Facebook Live, you know, internal in the group. We go on trips, field trips. I still have my little trailer, but some of the people I actually saw on the road, because I would pack up and leave for 2 months in my trailer and I would go teach after the kids all moved out and my husband was in the Army. And it's like, you know, you did leave for a year while you went to Korea and I had my 4th baby. So I still get 6 months of traveling here. So anyway, I would do that. And, you know, now I really can't do it. So I've been doing some teaching online and trying to beef up my YouTube channel. So if anybody wants to go over and help me out, I've been adding my Facebook Lives. I do 2 Facebook Lives a week, on Tuesday at 6 Eastern and Thursday at 4 Eastern. So I've been bringing them over into YouTube, which I don't know if people like that or not, because we do a lot of chatting, because they're all my group that comes to watch. But I usually say at 14 minutes, that's where the project is.
Yeah. So you know what, you do what you can. I think as creators, we're all trying to do the best we can.
This is a weird time. I mean,
it is.
Yeah. So, you know,
this is so cool.
Well, I'm so happy to finally meet you.
I am happy to meet you too. Like, if everybody only knew like the amount of times we've tried to make this happen and stuff. And then even today when we went to go live, it like glitched, you guys. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, it's been crazy. But I am so excited to meet you. I'm so excited to learn all this and understand like the lingo. Not gonna lie, I'm super excited that there's another area of Michael's or Joann's I can go in and now like buy more stuff. So like I have the jewelry section, the beading section, and now what would this even be called? Like scrapbooking?
It's die cutting technically.
Okay.
They have some there, not usually my dies because they're so heavy duty that they're a high ticket. Well, they're $40 for the die, but the thing is, you can cut 1 million of them.
Yeah. So, and if they follow you on your blog, you have all sorts of ideas for them. Oh, this is so fantastic.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
An Etsy store, if I could put in a plug.
Yep. No, that's what I was just about to say too. For those of you out there that are like, this is cool and stuff, but I know I just cannot add one more craft. You can check out her Etsy store. Check out everything that she's put together. Obviously, you've seen she's extremely skilled. And why not? I mean, support another crafter, y'all. We're all in here doing the best we can, making the most of it all. And so your support is so appreciated, especially as the holidays, because we're coming up to I know it's like September 1st, but we're coming up to the holidays. And you know, your spending dollars are going to be more than ever at this point in time. I know that a lot of people are doing like homemade holidays, like using the stash that they have or buying stuff on Etsy from other homemakers to kind of keep things just, you know, keep it local, so to speak,
Right.
you know, keep supporting each other. So this is a great opportunity to do that. So I'm excited that you were here to be able to show everybody this. And I love the meshing of two crafts. Like that
Me
is so
too.
much fun to me.
Really lots of crafts because, well, like you said, the beading, the yarn,
Yes.
paper, the dyes, the, you know,
So
and
much.
then, I mean, people have, you know, this is a placemat. You know, I die cut a placemat.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, my granddaughter has her eyes on that one.
My daughter would have her eyes on that. Actually, my daughter has an eye. So you've sent me all the tools and stuff, right? Like every time she comes in here, she's like, so when are we opening that? And I'm like, I can't open it until I have the podcast. She goes, all right, Mom, so when is she coming on the podcast? So she knows that you're on today. And so she is waiting to come and be, she's like, all right, I got to make all the things.
Yeah, good.
You know, fantastic. She's pretty awesome. Well, Eileen, thank you so much. I want to let everybody know we do have show notes set up. So I've put a link in the video description box, and there you can find links to everything Eileen Hull. Like you can be all Eileen all the time, right? So if you're in doubt, go check out the show notes. Again, we are going to give away a Sizzix machine. We will start the giveaway during the stocking stuffer event. As you guys know, every year for the last 2 years, Caitlin has taken the time to put together a bunch of stocking stuffer ideas. And she did it again this year. And so she agreed, even though yesterday was her last day, she is going to follow through with this full event. And she's also going to do the New Year's Eve event, which is another big event she does. Those are the 2 big events she does every year. And she's like, you know, absolutely, I'd like to still do them. So we're still putting those together. I'm very excited. So that's when we're going to give away the Sizzix. So we'll come back to this and it'll all come together. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Hit subscribe here on the Marley Bird YouTube channel. Make sure you've clicked that notification bell. And then after you've done that, go on over to Eileen Hull's YouTube channel. Is it just Eileen Hull?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eileen Hull 1. Sorry, Eileen Hull 1.
Eileen Hull 1. So go check that out. You can like her channel. Make sure you've subscribed. Make sure you click the notification bell. Do all the things. You know, get creative. Why not? Yeah. If you guys have any questions, don't forget you can always watch the replay of this and ask your questions below. Other than that, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it.
I will stop by. I'll check if there are questions.
So everybody just keeps saying that it's such a neat idea that the Eileen Hull fan club is on Facebook. They say, thank you, ladies. I enjoyed this immensely. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. All right. So I am so happy you were on here. I do want to remind everybody once again, if you did not get a chance to watch this morning's live about the update, I highly recommend you go and do that. And yeah, that's it, y'all. All right, I will see you next Tuesday when I have, I think it's the designer behind, okay, bear with me a second because I told you Caitlin left, and so I have my full list here. Okay, so I have Christine Toy, and she is the Dino Dana. It's a Netflix show for kids, costume designer. And I guess that they have crocheted and knitted pieces all throughout this show. And so she's the costume designer for that, and she's coming on the show. I'm very excited about it. Again, this is a Caitlin thing because her kids watch this show. I mean, I don't have like young kids anymore. So I'm going to have to go check out the show. If you guys want to learn more about, you know, another type of professional in the crochet knitting industry, I mean, I just can't wait to talk to her. It'll be exciting. So that'll be next Tuesday. All right, Eileen, thank you so much.
All
right. Bye, everybody.